Yeah. It was opened in 1925, and they maintain it very, very well. It's another interesting little museum if you ever come back to Kingston. Now you're also going to see on the driver's side coming up are some green sewer pipes in this little park here. They were a gift from the province of Quebec in honor of our 300th birthday. I'll let you make your own decisions on that one. And here they are. Yeah. Nice, eh? Yeah, very nice. Coming up on the driver's side, there they are, and they're actually called pollution, so I don't know. Take any meaning out of that or not, I don't know. Kingston General Hospital, this is the more modern portion of Kingston General. We're going to see the original portion when we tour around here. It's one of 3 major hospitals in Kingston. We're very fortunate to have that. On the driver's side is Breakwater Park, it's called. But what's kind of interesting about it is all the land you see generated south of the sidewalk was actually put there when the Kingston General Hospital was digging up its parking lot. That's how much stone and rubble we have. The water that you're looking at is Lake Ontario, and over there where all the land is, that is part of Wolf Island, the beginning of the Thousand Islands. Does everybody know the Tragically Hip, that group? No, okay, well, it was a very popular group in Canada. Well, I wasn't really a fan, but anyways, Gord Downy, he was the lead singer of it, and he actually passed away a couple of years ago with brain cancer, which was really unfortunate. But the city, in his honor, have built a new boardwalk and also a nice park, or not a park, but an area where you can go swimming, and it's called the Gord Downey Pier. And once we get through these lights, you'll be able to see it. Very popular place for people to go swimming. Here it is, the Gord Downey Pier. Just kind of a nice tribute to him. He was a local guy. The Tragically Hip band was from Kingston. The building on the driver's side is a water purification plant, but at one time it used to be a brewery. So there you go. Good beer. Coming up on the door side, you're going to see some row housing. This is called Hales Cottages. They were intended to be rented to senior government officials when Kingston was the capital. We'll go all the way to all the way straight. Straight through the light. No, straight. No, I'll tell you when we're going to pull over, just to be prepared. Oh, coming up on the door side, that yellow building with the green shutters used to belong to the first mayor of Kingston, Thomas Kirkpatrick. He had to relinquish his office, however, because that residence was considered too far out of town. And next door to that, this beautiful stone building is known as Stone Gables. And it's patterned after a building in London, actually. We'll go straight through these lights. Coming up on the driver's side is our most famous resort. Of course, to stay here, you must stay a minimum of 2 years, but you can stay up to life if you like. This is Kingston Penitentiary. Straight through. No, straight.
Kingston Penitentiary.
Stop here. Yeah, stop.
Yeah, you
Kingston Penitentiary. It's the oldest penitentiary in Canada. The first 6 prisoners arrived here June 6th of 1836, and up until the year 2011 it was expanding ever since. As I mentioned, we had at one time 9 federal penitentiaries. Now we have 7. They closed this down and they put the prisoners in various other spots, so we still have them, unless you want them. You know, we don't mind. Anyways, they have this open for tours now. So you can take a tour through Kingston Penitentiary. It's empty, but it's kind of interesting. Across the street, that was the warden's house. Yeah, so I have 2 kids in the penitentiary system, but as workers, not as prisoners. I want to make that perfectly clear. So next time you're in town, if you like, have a tour. Did you have a question? No, they've all gone to Ottawa once they get out. They become our politicians. Or there's a prison down about 20 minutes from here that's maximum security. Millhaven, yeah. So there's Millhaven, Collins Bay. Millhaven is maximum. Collins Bay is medium, and then there are smaller prisons attached to that, like which is more of a, and not as restrictive prison. So, yeah, we have lots of prisoners. Yay! Okay, we'll go straight to the light. I think they brought it all. I mean, the people at the time in the 1800s wanted the prisons here because, as I say, it gave them work. This little village, we're going to make a right-hand turn at this set of lights, but the little village is known as Portsmouth Village, and a lot of the residents at the time lived here because they had to be in earshot of the bell that rang at Kingston Penitentiary. I should mention on the driver's side, this is Portsmouth Olympic Harbor. In 1976, the main Olympics were held in Montreal, but the sailing Olympics, yes. The sailing Olympics were held right here in Kingston. Every year in August, we have an annual regatta called Canadian Olympic Regatta Kingston, where sailors from all over the world come here and compete under Olympic-style conditions. It's in August, it's in the beginning of August, so it's quite something to see. We're going to go to the stop sign and turn right. Yeah, this is sort of a little up-and-coming community in Portsmouth. A lot of younger people are moving here and just fixing the places up. Kind of nice. I have a story about Kingston Penitentiary. A guy named Thomas Harding. He was a prisoner here back in the 1800s. On good behavior, he was let out. But he found that he didn't have enough money to survive, so he broke back into Kingston Penitentiary trying to access the warden's safe. When he took the ladder to get back out again, the ladder broke, so he had to stay at the penitentiary. The next morning, there was 1 extra head count. Notice these walls on the door side? They're part of the women's penitentiary, which is coming up on the side, the door side. Now, they closed that prison down. For almost 100 years, women were held across the street at the men's penitentiary. This was the only penitentiary for women in Canada. So they closed it down because the prisoners were isolated from family and friends. So they put them in a more regional facility. But you know what they're going to do with this? They're going to make condominiums for seniors, and I hope that they take the bars off the walls. And I don't know how they're going to make them out of an 8x10 cell, but I'm not a... You see? We never saw all this because these walls actually came right around. So all we ever saw was the front door. We're going to... So you can see, eventually they're going to do something with Kingston Pen. I think what they, rumor has it, the reason they closed it was because it was contaminated. And a lot of the government would deny it, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But this I've heard from guards. A lot of the guards were getting sick because of contaminated water, and the prisoners were getting sick. And it was funny because they were building sally ports, like there's a new entrance, they were still doing construction inside the penitentiary, and then all of a sudden it's just stopped. So, there must have been something. And they had it on the water back in the 1800s because that was the main transportation for goods and so forth, was going through the water. The building on the driver's side, down there, that was a prison for women also. Housed about 10 women. They were able to roam the grounds freely, but if they had to leave the grounds, they had to be escorted by an armed guard. There's another little story about Kingston Pen. Red Ryan, I won't go into him very much because he was a bad man. But he escaped from Kingston Pen, and as he was escaping, he kicked a guard off the ladder and injured him. And he felt really bad about it, and he sent him a letter of apologies with a return address, so they shortly picked him up in Minneapolis, I think. You know, like, they're not the smartest. This car is. We're going to make a left-hand turn just around there. You're going to see a fire hydrant. It's called Center Street. A left-hand turn. I was asked if we're a safe area. Oh yes. I mean, there are some. I mean, like any place, right? You have to be careful. We're going to turn left. Where that car is. Nope, the one. See the sign, the green sign. So we'll turn left there. You see, these homes are very affluent, so having the penitentiary, even when it was active, down the road didn't really affect the real estate prices.